Hello everyone. In this video, I'll explain you the spiral model in software engineering. This is very important question and asked in almost all the question papers. I will explain you in very simple steps that will make you easy understand. Before starting to this topic, subscribe to my channel for more videos because I'll be uploading the previous year question paper solved questions and important questions daily. Let us start without delay. The spiral model is an iterative, means each loop be considered as one iteration, and risk driven software development process. This is the risk driven model, means the risk is there in this model, and instead of one straight path like waterfall model, the project progresses through the repeated cycles. Instead of straight lines, it has the cycles, that is spirals. Each step means each cycle goes through the four same activities, that is planning, risk analysis, engineering and evaluation. Here in the diagram you can see the planning, risk analysis, engineering and evaluation. These are the four steps in the spiral model. Here with each loop you get a more complete product and progressively refined. Each loop will give you the complete product and progressively refined one. Now let us see the diagram. This is the spiral model, iterative risk driven life cycle. Here we have four phases, that is planning, risk analysis, engineering and evaluation. In planning again we have requirements, objectives and project plan. These are the steps involved in the planning. You can write these steps whatever I tell while explaining also. And in risk analysis we have identify and mitigate the key risks. This is in the key risk analysis. And the third one is engineering. In that we have design, implementation and prototype. We have three steps in the engineering phase. In the evaluation we have customer review, test results and decision in the evaluation. This is the last phase of the spiral model. You have to explain these four phases, that's it. Very simple. I will explain you. In spiral model we have four phases, that is planning, risk analysis, engineering and evaluation. The first one is planning. Collect all the requirements from the customer, end user, and set the clear goals and scope for this cycle. You have to collect the requirements, set the clear goals and scope for this cycle, and decide the schedule and resources. What are all the resources you need? Decide everything and schedule it. And the second phase is risk analysis. Identify the risks. Those are technical, cost effective, or scheduling, integration. What is the risk in this? You have to identify the risk, because the spiral model means it is a risk driven model. That's why you have to identify the risk first and analyze and mitigation. Decide the mitigation plan. You have to analyze it and decide the mitigation plan later. And it is spiral is a risk driven model, I told you already. And the third phase is engineering. In this phase you have to design that. Design, implementation and test the planned features for this cycle. Already you have collected the requirements from the user. You set the clear goals and scope for the cycle, and resources and scheduling happen. Analyzed all the risk in this phase, and designing. You design in such a way that how exactly the customer needs that. Design that and implement that. Test the planned features for this cycle and build the prototype if needed. If it is needed, then build the prototype, or else no needed. And the fourth step is evaluation. In this phase, the customer or stakeholder review that, test that, and evaluate the results. And evaluate the result versus goals if the cycle goals of the cycle. Means, for example, you go to a shop and buy a bulb, and without testing that, will you bring that to home? No, right? This is also same. The customer will review that and test that, evaluate the results. If the bulb is lighting properly, then only you will bring that bulb to home, or else you will change that. You will ask the shopkeeper, give me one more, I will test it. Like that, the customer or stakeholder also review that product and test that. Here, evaluate the results versus goals of the cycle and decide whether to continue the next cycle or revise the plan or have to stop. If it satisfy the customer requirements, then you have to stop that. Or else if the customer tell you to add some more requirements, you have to continue the cycle. Or is there any bug or mistake, you have to revise the plan. This is all about the evaluation phase. And each spiral loop represents one iteration. One loop means one iteration. Got it? Here we have advantages and disadvantages in the spiral model also. The advantages in the spiral model are risk focused. Here we can see the high risk items are discovered and handled easily. This is the advantage because we can handle the high risk projects in this spiral model easily. And flexible, easy to refine the requirements between the cycle. If I want to add any requirement in the between, I can add the requirement easily. But in the waterfall model, I can't go back and add. That is the disadvantage in the waterfall model. That we can overcome in the spiral model. Got it? That's why it is very flexible, easy to refine the requirements between the cycle. I can add or remove anything in the between of the any cycle. And customer feedback loop. If the customer tell to add anything or remove anything, I can easily do that. That's why customer feedback loop. And good for large or complex project. If the project is very complex or large, it is good to those kind of projects. These are the advantages of spiral model. We have disadvantages also in spiral model. Those are can be costly. Repeated cycles and risk analysis add overhead because the risk is high in this spiral model. That's why it can be costly, and repeated cycles and risk analysis add the overhead. And the next one is needs experienced team. Risk assessment and planning must be done well. If any small mistake happened or anything went wrong, that will cost more and takes more time in this spiral model. That is the big disadvantages in the spiral model. And not ideal for the small, well understood projects for waterfall. Agile may be simpler. For smaller projects, waterfall and agile models are the best. But for spiral model, it is not good for the small projects. And when to use the spiral model? When the project is with high risk or unclear requirements, then we have to use the spiral model for high risk projects. And large systems where prototypes and incremental refinement are valuable. When we use the large systems and high risk projects, we use the spiral model. This is all about spiral model. If you follow these steps and phases properly, then you can get full marks in the spiral model easily. If you find this information helpful, Then subscribe to my channel for more videos. I upload the important questions every day with solved, and share this info with your friends. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.